Warrior Seed, Introduction. Chapter 1, The War on Stillness. This book is not for everyone, but it can be for anyone. Anyone interested in engaging in a discipline. All around us, in this modern day life, we are bombarded with distractions. We are drowning in a pool of empty promises, whether they come from private commercial enterprises or whether they come from political enterprises. Everything is competition with your neighbor, and as such you are told that your neighbor is perhaps in some way to be feared. After all, they are competing for the same distractions. The noise and the distractions all around us, whether purposeful or not, are setting up a grand illusion, and this illusion is not empowering. Almost every television show out there involves the authorities saving us from make-believe criminals or some unsavory characters of some sort that we're supposed to be afraid of. And notice how often these shows don't have us being afraid of the authority figures themselves. For many, their entire day is filled with songs about jail or gangsters, dramas and movies about the penal system, real-life shows about police chasing people, serial killer documentaries, or just leaving the camera on and showing life behind bars. Oftentimes, this programming is absorbed with headphones on, making it worse. This is daily, hourly, repetitive training of the subconscious mind, and is sadly done so voluntarily. Entertainment has dumbed itself down to an extremely narrow range of emotional expression, and the masses, they find comfort in this narrow expression, comfort that comes from the reassurance of fears. I am not a doom and gloom philosopher. I simply am stating what is out there and what is attempting to get into all of us. People surround themselves with constant noise. It's become common to be in one room and have multiple televisions going, headphones on, playing a video game with loud music still blaring in the background. There is nothing wrong with these activities, but ask yourself, when did we start needing so much stimulation? Does this stimulation serve us? Is there a time when there is enough? So let's look at the modern situation. Constant noise, constant volume, constant stimulation, constant search for instant gratification, fear-based entertainment, and when it is hopeful, it usually involves someone coming to save the day, setting up expectations of a savior. Constant relentless, materialistic imagery on all media formats, causing our self-esteems to be artificially low. These low self-esteems are based on phony comparisons of people that barely exist and hopefully you will never meet. You might be asking, where does meditation fit into all of this? Here are some real-life questions and comments I've received from others discussing meditation. How can telling someone to quiet and calm their mind possibly help them compete? 2, I just don't feel like one of those new agey people. What exactly is meditation? What good is meditation? Or I can't quiet my mind. It has to be awake and sharp and strong. These are interesting and understandable questions and statements. I have an answer for you. Consider the following. When you realize that anxiety is taking over, when everything feels like it's falling apart, when all of your possessions are being carried over your shoulder in a plastic bag, when you find yourself in an institution, jail, rehab, or homeless, when no one else believes in you, your dreams, or your passions, there are still a few things that, at least up to now, are free. Those things are breathing, visualization, techniques and exercises and discipline. If you want to change, if you want to break the cycle of anxiety and failure, low self-esteem and poverty, then now is the time to engage in a discipline. I'm not here to make you feel good. I may not even particularly like you if we met in person. I'm not asking you to clear your mind. I'm not asking you to accept anything other than the fact that failure is inevitable and that we should learn from it. And this takes discipline. Stress is your teacher. Obstacles are divine gifts. And there's no such thing as always being happy. Maybe you've attempted meditation before. Maybe you've turned on a video. Someone puts on some nice scenery and says something such as, "Love and light, beautiful soul," or "Namaste, and remember, I love you." This probably didn't seem like something that's going to help you in a world that can seem overwhelming and heartless to those who can't pay to live in it. My approach is different. I am here to motivate. I will say, for the record, that I do not love you. It's not you, it's me. I'm in a funny headspace right now, and I think it's time I start seeing other readers, or listeners in this case. However, if you survive this rejection and read further, I will say this. I do love the fact that you're willing to change and willing to take on a discipline. Now it's time to engage, to look within and embrace the most powerful weapon you have against a difficult system. That weapon is your mind. It's time to stop relying on the armor of loud media that's protecting you from looking within. We are conditioned to believe that there's value and strength in overcoming the noise with more noise. We're taught that engaging in stillness and inner peace seems to lack the real-world ruggedness necessary for surviving the rat race. I'm here to tell you that the opposite is true. On the road to mastering anything, you must first be on the road to mastering your own mind. And this is always a journey. It's always a battle. It is daily maintenance. There's wisdom on the other side of fear and rewards found in the delayed gratifications of discipline. Today, I offer you a view of meditation that perhaps you're not familiar with. Meditation is a weapon. Meditation is a way to prepare yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for a world that is not fair, for a world that is designed to keep you complacent, for a world that does not care whether or not you lose or win, for a world that does not care about your pain, for a world that wants you to fear your neighbor through political polarization or envy them through over-commercialization, for a world that will seem cold and cruel if you don't have the money to participate in it. You've got to pay to play. For a world that, at every turn, throw a million distractions your way so that you don't look within. For a world that will ask you to value leisure time over discipline. For a world that, yes, can feel socially unjust. The closest thing to true justice you will receive is digging deep, being still, calming your mind, calming your emotions, and letting it be witnessed that a disciplined warrior is now standing at the gate, a stone unmoved by the tides of the storm. True warriors will not let a bunch of clever, self-serving, loud opportunists keep them from their most important journey, the journey within. This journey requires time and effort. The effects of meditation are slow and residual. However, Some of them do provide a really nice feeling in the immediate, a reward for engaging. I understand that life is full of stress. That is because it is supposed to be. Lean into the gift of stress. Move towards obstacles, as they are the proof that you're on the right path. In fact, they are the path. Would you go into battle with a sword that has not been sharpened by stressing the metal? The stress applied to the sword transforms it into an elegant weapon. The same principle applies to your mind. We don't run from stress. We run to it. Transmute its energy and use it to our own advantage. Who would you be more afraid of in combat? An opponent who's never been in a fight? Or one who has the knowledge, experiences, and evolutions granted by the stresses of many combats? Which therapist would you prefer? One who's never been through any serious situation? Or one who understands what you've been through because they themselves are no stranger to your battlefield? Meditation is your weapon of transformation, refined by stress. Stress cannot destroy a weapon forged by its own flame. Through stillness, you can learn to deal with the temporary byproduct of stress, which is anxiety. Anxiety is an indicator. Anxiety is an alarm. A disciplined mind thrives on finding the source, figuring out why that alarm is sounding, and then turns it off. And that's not easy. Perhaps you've experienced lesser forms of therapy, which have some terminologies I'm not particularly fond of. One such terminology is, quote, radical acceptance, unquote. Radical acceptance is a call to radical inaction. My advice for you is to stop accepting your fate and start making your destiny. Accepting some sad fate that someone has regurgitated to you is no way for a warrior to act. This so-called preordained, or even worse, genetic fate is simply a repetition of your past programming, your conditioned behavior. The subconscious mind is ever obedient. This programming is misinterpreted as fate because you haven't yet reprogrammed your conscious or your subconscious mind. Reprogramming your automatic mind requires your commitment and your bravery, as well as your time. Don't go into this war without stillness in your arsenal. Stillness is powerful. Inner peace will make you unbreakable. Within the realms of inner stillness, there is a guild of warriors, rogues, renegades, keepers of a nearly forgotten sacred truth. They are waiting for you, but you must go within to find them. They are the positive, effective, and creative aspects of your soul. They've been calling out to you, and you've been ignoring them all of these years. And for a while, so was I. Welcome to the guild, my friend. It's good that you have returned.